Here I am. It's Leon C, aka what y'all call me, Morpheus. And I'm here to deliver you another red pill and to empower my American family and give you more strength and information that can actually put wings on your back. Not literally, but of course it will give you the ability to scale higher and to take your mind to a different place than where it is today. I have received a very interesting email by a young man. Now, you see the header of this particular video. It's about drugs and drunken. But before we get into the subject, I want to share something with you, and definitely for you men and married men and young men. It's about an emailer, and he emailed me. He says, Mr. Morpheus, I am in a dire situation. I am 34 years old. I have been married for 14 years and I have 2 kids. And the woman that I'm with, I hate her and disgusted to the point where I don't know what I'm going to do. I have tried all and everything, but it seems like nothing is available. What do you say, and what suggestions would you have to give unto me? Okay? So before we get into the drugs, my family and ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about his situation real fast before we move on, because it might be relative to you. I like to give you the most optimistic, vast variety of options available. That way, one situation of someone might be able to help you. So whenever anybody email me, or whenever they decide that they want to ask me questions to create a video, usually I use that to empower you. Okay? So let's get down to the basics. I'm going to answer your question, but first of all, I'm going to say, for all you gentlemen who are married and who was married, let this be a lesson unto you that it is real. The struggle is real. Apparently, this guy, having 2 kids, being together for 14 years, and he's 34 years old. Okay, that means he probably was married when he was around the age 20, 21, 22, 19-ish, like, 20, 21. But I would say at least 20 years old. Okay, and now he's pretty much regretting, or he just don't like the woman that he decided to marry, practically fresh out of college. Okay, this is what you guys have to understand. Your evolution is still in continuation even after the age 20. Just because you graduate from college, just because you graduate from high school, just because you think that you're an adult, doesn't mean that you are in an adult mentality. You have to develop a sense of self first before getting into a relationship. Okay, so talk about the water just a little bit. Now that you have gotten into this relationship with this girl and you have 2 kids, all right, my whole thing of this channel and discussing with you and trying to help you through your bad demise of a situation is to tell you and to use this as an example of why marriage does not work, why you have to wait to focus on yourself, why you have to concentrate on your development before you get into a relationship, and not to get into a relationship to begin with. Because, well, not relationship, but marriage. That is paper contract marriage. If you're going to be with somebody, if you're going to date somebody, that's fine. But having children, as I've discussed before, is also an obligation, because that's an 18-year dedication. An 18-year promised dedication that you're going to have to be pristine and primitive. You're going to have to be supreme in your idea if you decide to ever combine yourself with somebody in that naturous way. Okay? Now, here's my advice. As I said, I prefer nothing but American families to come together. That's what I do as Morpheus, to empower you, to bring you up, and again, to give you wings. But since you have tried everything, if you have tried marriage counselors, and you tried other counselors, if you tried other opinions, if you have tried to give yourself ventilation, room away from this lady or from this man, if you have spent time over your parents' house or over your friend's house for days or weeks on end and it still doesn't work, you come back and you say you hate this person, I will tell you this, and definitely now that you decide to come to Morpheus for the red pill, I'm going to give you the red pill. But this is probably an obvious red pill that most guys know of and understand today. At this point, you have to segregate yourself and separate yourself from her. It would be best to stay in your child's life at all possible and have joint custody where you and her have the opportunity of seeing those kids with all due balance and fairness. Normally, I don't suggest this, but I do based on the knowledge of how the American people are being demised and diminished day by day. If you are paying attention to the news, if you watch the news every day, if you open up the newspaper, you'll realize that couples are no longer couples. Now we are more at each other's throat, literally, than anything. I don't want you, my friend, or anybody else in the American family to feel as if you need to go in the kitchen and pick up the heaviest thing, okay, and use that to put aside your companion because you no longer want to be with them. But frankly, it happens. And it happens every single day. At this point, when you begin to hate that person, hatred is a very strong thing. Don't listen to what the church say. This is not a church channel. You understand? They always tell you, oh, thou shalt not hate. Why are you hating? It's evil to hate. No. Leave those people where they need to be. Okay. The gravesite is for them. Okay. We talk real on this channel. This is red pill. This ain't blue pill knowledge. This is red pill knowledge. Okay. Hatred is a part of your anatomy and your emotions. You can hate somebody. It's true. Some people, if you put yourself in that situation and you bind yourself to someone, it can transform to be hate. They can do things to you to make you hate somebody. Hatred is real. But during that time, you have an option to walk away, and you also have an option not to let somebody get that close to you. But since you brought hatred into it, okay, I'm not going to go Christian on you because that's not what this channel is for. I'm going to go realistic on you. All right, okay? Usually at that time, it's time to pack your bags and leave the situation altogether. Because I'd rather for both of y'all to leave on good terms than for y'all to leave on a very bad permanent term that cannot be fixed. Okay? And it's always best to just be honest with your compartment, your companion, or be honest with them and say, hey, this ain't working. I've tried everything. We've tried going to counselors. We tried to unite. We tried to rekindle our relationship. It's time to go the opposite direction. Because my friend, listen, for some of you, you only have one life to live. Okay? One life to live, one ballpark all the way around. So you don't want to live the remaining years of your life in misery. You don't want to do that. You don't want to waste the remaining years of your life with somebody that you really don't want to be with, because you capped your life. This is why marriage is not the way, and definitely marriage too early. Because when you are with somebody, I told you this in my other videos, and if you're reading my book, you can understand this. When you are bonding with somebody, that means you are done developing your side of the story. Now you're ready to develop with someone else. If you are still developing yourself and you're still trying to understand who you are, and you get involved with somebody and they're still trying to develop who they are and understand, you are bonding yourself to failure, and you're going to eventually break apart. And that's what happens in the American relationship, or the American financial marriage. Okay? Because statistically, most people who just stay together without marriage, mind you, they have the potential to stay together for real reasons because they have an expectation there. You see, and they have no promises that are made on stone. They're not together by force. They're not together because they felt like, oh, if I divorce this girl, she's going to take alimony. Or she feel like, well, if I divorce him, it's not like I'm losing too much anyway. I'm with him because I want to be with him. So there's no obligation. So it's easy for them to stay together. But now y'all have forced each other to stay together. Now you're staying together for superficial reasons. That's why it's not good to get into it. So at this point, it's best to separate, start all over again. That way you can give yourself an open playing field to love again, to start all over again, heal yourself, and to teach others not to do things, and to actually take care of your kids the right way. Because your children can pick up on your toxicity when both of y'all together, especially when you can only function when you're in your garage, or when you're away from her, or when mommy's not home. Then you can do whatever that you need to do for your own man's sake. Same as her, you're probably more comfortable when she's in the room minding her own business, or when she takes the kids somewhere to La La Land. You know, you're able to be yourself. When it gets to that point, y'all don't need to be together. When it gets to that point where you feel better being yourself when she's not at home, that's telling you right there that that rift have already began. And usually the signs are early in the relationship. If you let it go so far to where it's like 13 or 14 years, okay, it only gets worse from here, my friend. It doesn't get better. If you've done all that you can do, and now you come into Morpheus, okay, then it's time for you to change. It's time for you to just go ahead and give the keys away, or y'all go your separate ways and be safe. That way you can live to fight another day. Don't fight and use all your life in that particular circle, because you end up wasting your time. And then while you need to be developing and finding other avenues and ventures of life, that opportunity will be taken from you because you're dealing with the dead apple or a rotted orange and lemon that's just going to create nothing but havoc for you, and definitely devastation later on in your relationships. Now, getting on to the subject. Thank you for waiting for this nice 10 minutes and to get to the subject, for allowing me to be able to discuss this matter with the emailer. Drugs and drunking. I'm going to keep it raw and uncut as Morpheus, as you call me, even though you know me as Leon C., the writer. But here it is. Drugs and alcohol, which is usually the same thing. You have to look at it the same thing. It's an inducement of the body. It's a toxicity of your system, of your biology, of your chemical flow that's within yourself. And it is also a supplementation, a supplement of something that you are missing or lacking thereof. Drugs is the equivalency in its stimulation, depending on how it's made, of dopamine, serotonin, relaxation, comfort, okay, high life, easygoing mentality. Most people cannot attach to that because of the toxicity of their environment, because of their dead world, because of the environment that the American estate have built, because America is in such a down slope with its morals, because America is in such a down slope with the quality and virtue of the inner man. People are now, as you know, becoming electronically connected to the outside world. People are now becoming artificially connected to reality, where now you have to be artificially connected to yourself. What does that mean, Morpheus? What are you telling us? Okay. You have a brain center. Here you got your brain nerves and connections. On each end is called a node, or you can call it a bulb, or you can call it just a connector, to be simple. Okay? What you have with your psyche, with your mind, with your fluidity of your energy, and when you interface it with someone, when you get excited, when you're ready to go to sleep and your melatonin kicks in, or the serotonin, you just had a relaxed state of mind, or the dopamine when you're happy and excited about something, or the fight or flight syndrome and that adrenaline. When adrenaline flows your body, all your nerves is going like this, okay? Or when you put speed in your system, okay? But on a normal basis, with the simple dopamine and serotonin, what it is a connection between your brain and your neurological centers, your nerves, okay? Because we are in such bad disarray with our country, because we are dealing with so much toxic level, that is toxic people, vampiric people, negative people, distorted negative news and things that is so dramatic, it stresses us out because we aren't living naturally. We can't connect our node. Here's a brain, and your nerves is going like this. You understand? So your dopamine is at a lower percentage than what it should be. So what happens is, when most people realize this, or some people, they begin to stress themselves out because they can't reach that level of excitement or happiness or comfort as they need to. They take additives, which is called drugs, or stimulants. Stimulants is like a stiffening, if you consider it to be that way. Whereas where you can adjust it naturally through your natural habitat, through your environment, through people that you are with. Listen to me, I'm getting somewhere. Through your natural habitat are people that you are with. I said it twice. Then you take artificial drugs, which causes it to stiffen up. And now you're able to connect a little bit with your brain stem, your cortexes, your cerebrals, and the stimulation of that, whatever the drug that you put into your body to create the dopamine level and the connection. So now you're feeling excited. Now you feel like, yeah, I can do something. Yeah, let's do it. Now you're feeling that dopamine level. You're feeling like you can go somewhere. You feel like you can sit up here and run 1,000 miles because whatever drugs you put in your system. You're just sitting back, the dopamine level and just that artificial connection. But remember, when you first got started, listen to Morpheus. You didn't have that connection. Just because, listen to me, just because you made a connection by using drugs, that doesn't mean that that connection still isn't like this. Now it's unnatural because you stimulated it to do so. Now this connection is unnatural. Now you're not dependent on your nature. Now you're dependent on the drugs. And then listen, this is where addiction comes into line, because with that connection, now your body's feeling good. Your body's feeling, what do you call that? The reward centers. You're feeling rewards, right? Because that connection is making you feel good. Now your body becomes addicted. Now your brain feels it's connected. The brain's like, oh, I gotta have more. This is what I need. Yeah, man, where is it at, man? Where? Okay? But check this out. Over time, when you stop giving it to yourself or you start receding, okay? Remember, this node was like this to begin with anyway. It's still like this even if you took drugs to go like this. So what happens when you take that drug, now it's like that. Okay, because it's warped itself back because it's not doing it naturally. Just like going to the gym. You understand? If I take artificial stimulants or just, I don't know, steroids or something to start pumping up, right? Yeah, I may be using my muscles, but there's some artificialness there. There's no real, or using a machine to do something for me, right? So when all that's out of my system, when the steroids is gone, when the juice is out of my system, that doesn't mean that my muscles are just as strong as what I did. That means my muscles was retarded to a percentage. So what was bulky is now flabby, or what was flabby or what was so-called bulky is not, in its proper stage of being. So it's still going to be like that. So regardless of the workout, let's get through let's do the simplicity of this here. Okay, look. So now there's no connection there. So now you're really trying to connect with that dopamine level again. You can't reach it. Serotonin can't do it. So what happens is you become dependent. What happens, your brain becomes dependent. What happens, that's where addiction comes in line, and you got to have more of it in order to function in your day. Because without it, without it, it's just like that. Okay, it's like you connecting your brain from your body. Your neurological connections and your electrons, neutrons, and protons are gone because you are used to using drugs in order to make that connection. Now that I have paved the groundwork for you, now keep that in mind and listen to what I say as I continue with drugs and drunking. Okay, now let's be real. Here comes the red pill. Okay, now Morpheus can help you. When you're going to a party, or when you're hanging out at the club, or are you going to a birthday party, or are you going to a baby shower, yeah, with just girls around? Are you doing girls' night out? Okay, or are you going to maybe even your own party? Okay, or a banquet? Listen to me. Music, if it's not enough, people, if it's not enough. And it should be enough. You should be just there just to be there. You should be excited to be whoever that you are with. Naturally, you should be happy. Naturally, you should be able to get up and dance if the music sounds good and it's moving you. You want to groove, you're like, hey, hey, hey. Then, what? Listen, within your body, everything I just got through discussing, you got natural dopamine levels already there. You already got serotonin. You already got everything your neurological and your brains already produce. Every chemical that you need creates that stimulation for you. You understand? So when you are with somebody, listen to me, married couple. Listen to me, boyfriend and girlfriend. Listen to me, partiers. Listen. If you're out there in the club or sitting down with somebody and you feel like you got to have a beer, you got to have a wine just to enjoy yourself, listen, just to enjoy the party that's already there, you're missing something. Okay? When you're in a relationship with somebody and they always got to go for a beer, okay, or they always need something to drink, listen to me. That means you ain't enough. You want to know why? Because the living human being is an embodiment of chemicals. Everything you need is already within you. Your energy connection with you and that other person, once you meet somebody that's at equal level, both of y'all, playing cards or something like that, or dancing, if you're out in the club somewhere, or if y'all sitting down at a dinner table, if you can't enjoy the person that's sitting in front of you, and you got to get you a glass of wine just to loosen up and break the ice, that means they're telling you psychologically you ain't enough. And I care less what y'all think. They're like, oh, Morpheus, you're wrong. No, I'm right. I just showed you the science. All it is a stimulant, an exciting type of thing to loosen up your neurological centers. All it is a chemical that you already have within yourself. When you are with somebody and you are really excited about that, there's times where sometimes you don't even want to eat because you are in such an excited mode, or you are fulfilled within yourself. The problem is you're not fulfilled, and the problem is your physical body. You're trying to get to the spiritual through the physical, and it never works that way. It doesn't work that way. Because when you at a party somewhere, you already at the party. Why are you going to try to make a party inside the party with a party? Right? Why do you need to drink in order to make yourself feel better about your situation? And some people call this liquid courage. No, it's not liquid courage. That means you had a loss of something. And I'm going to tell you what that loss is. Keep riding with me and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. Okay? Now, I've been to places where I used to go out to the clubs many years ago. I stopped that mess because I realized these people ain't about it. These people are just as dead as zombies. Walk in there and they just walking around like, "Rrr." You want to know why? Check this out. The club opened up, some of them, in some places like at Indianapolis or Indiana. Some places in Indiana, okay? They'll open up at like 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Check this out. There are times where I would get there like 9:30 and just chill out. Just be sitting there, just relaxing, just watching the crowd, right? Mind you, the whole club is packed, right? Everybody's sitting around. They just, just jabbing off at the mouth and they drinking. They watching and drinking. I watch the ladies. They're just drinking. They're just drinking, right? And then all of a sudden, come 11 to 12 o'clock, then they want to get up and start dancing because they see 5 or 6 of the other people go out there dancing. That's why they call it liquid courage. You know what they're missing? Confidence. You know what they're missing? Courage. Self-dignity. Okay? And you know what else they're missing? They're missing a connection with themselves. So therefore, they need that extra boost just to get out there and get with the music. And that also means the music ain't in you. Yes, I said it. Because when you have a connection to your higher power, when you got a connection to natural earth, why do you need substance for you to be connected to something that's already in you? Huh? Explain that one to me. That debunks the argument. I ain't got to hear what you got to put on your comments. I ain't even got to hear what you got to say because it won't even stand up. It can't even stand up as evidence. Why are you putting something inside you if it's already inside you? If it's already inside you, then you be like, hey, I don't need it. I don't need that stuff. Okay? Now, when you are with somebody, or if you're at home as a husband or a wife, and that person always got to go in the refrigerator and just, yeah, give me a Coors Light, baby. Give me a Bud. Always got to. They're trying to connect something that's not there. Okay? And as a realist, okay, they don't really like where they are, even though they might tell you that they do. Because they're trying to supplement. Oh, it's been a long day. I need a beer. Give me a beer. It's been a long day. Oh, it's been a long day. I need a beer. Let me pop a beer and sit down. Okay? The world knows that is a relaxant. The world knows, and I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you why you're doing it. Okay? And I'm telling the wives why he's doing it. And I'm telling you, husbands, why she's doing it, whether she like it or not. Okay? Because there is a disconnect right here that should already be at home. Home should be your comfort zone away from all the stress of the world. And you as a husband or a wife should also be a comfort zone. If they're doing that, listen, That means they're only tolerating you. Every time drugs are in use, every time alcohol is in use, that percentage of whatever that they're using is trying to supplement something that they don't have. You would say, well, should we not drink wine at a party? Should we not drink beer at a party? The question would be, why should you? That's what you need to be asking yourself. Why should you? Because you're putting supplementation on something that don't need it. That's because you are trying to substitute something that's not available. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's called soul. Okay? It's called an interconnection between you and your higher power self, because you power it down. That connection that you're missing, that dopamine, that serotonin, when you are connected with yourself, you can feel positive energy from positive people, and you can feel negative energy from negative people. When you are around positive people, you can pick up on that positive energy, and it does something for your soul. It relaxes you, makes you feel good. It gives you that excitement. It gives you that dopamine. It gives you that serotonin. It gives you what's already in your body, because each time you meet people, it's a chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction. When you're talking with somebody, it's a chemical reaction. When you are with a husband or a wife, it's a chemical reaction. Is her kisses not enough? Oh, baby, it's been a long day. Oh, that's not enough. Or seeing your child, pat him on, oh, how you doing, Jim? Pat him on the head. Let's go outside and play catch. Or your little girl, she's in a room playing with her Barbie dolls. You come home, you stand in front of the door, be like, hey, how you doing? How was your day? You sit next to her and ask her how her day was, and what's going on with you? I see the doll there. Oh, she's cute. Oh, look at her hair. You can't do that. That's not enough. You got to go in the refrigerator and get something, right? Anytime that happens, I am telling you, my American family, to give you strength, to empower you. That is a sign that they are trying to connect something that's missing. And the more that person has to drink, the more that person is taken into themselves, the more of a loss that they have. Because once you take that away, they have to deal with the reality around them. Nature itself and your surroundings says there should already be a natural connection. But because of the terse systems that we are around, because of the hard work that we do every day, because of the dead environment, because of the zombie-act media sometimes that we have to watch, because of all our bills that keeps compiling up, because of, I can imagine this gentleman that was married for 14 years, who got married who was 20 years old. Okay, I can imagine, because he don't want to be there, that he himself would just sit back because he just tolerating the situation. Okay, that's the same. Now, I can't talk about nicotine, even though nicotine is a drug. Okay, but it is no good for your internal self, and it definitely is no good for your mind, because anytime you are addicted to something, it takes away from your focal points. It takes away from who you really are and what you can be. Yes, you can be a walking automaton. Yes, you can own your own business and be a smoker. Yeah, you can function on an everyday basis. Alcoholics function on an everyday. Okay, even people sometimes they be on drugs and you never know they on drugs. Okay, that's because all it does is stimulate their mind with substance, with substitution, because they can't make that connection. But eventually, once you start taking it away, it goes crazy. If you watch a smoker, okay, and you take their cigarettes away, all hell breaks loose. I've been around them, and I was afraid they was going to pick something up and throw it across the room. They can't live without it. That nicotine fit, because it'll go like that, because it can't connect in between that. So they got to have that nicotine to make the connection. So they have to go through a certain rehab. That's why they take time to take patches. They go vaping, or they do something else to try to keep themselves from taking nicotine, because their neurons, their connection from their brain is like this. So they have to rebuild it slowly so naturally they can come back together. Now, these aren't things I'm just blowing smoke. And it's not because I don't like smoke. It's not because, I'm all against, the substance. No, because I am here to empower you, and I'm all about nature. And I can't be that as Morpheus if I'm telling you to take substances and false senses of self when everything's supposed to be with nature. And I've been there and I did the testing for myself. There was times where I sat down and I drank a bottle of wine just to see what would happen, or I would take some beer just to see what would happen, get out there on the dance floor, and I'm like, this is artificial. Like, this is stupid. This ain't me. And then most times, people start drinking like that, and then they go out there and act a fool just because the music is playing. Like, yeah, oh. But full well, once they sober up and they go home, that ain't the person that you met. Turn on some music, and they'll be sitting there watching TV or CBS or something like that. Dry as a bone. You don't need to do that. What I am to do for you, as you will continue to study, and what you're going to start doing, what you start studying your empowerment, is to juice yourself naturally. And that's the way to go. Deal with the higher realm of yourself. I know, as cheesy as it might sound and as dry as it may be, but once you get rid of the drugs and the alcohol and you learn how to enjoy the music for what it is, you learn how to take the energy and life for what it is, you will get your life back. I promise you. I promise you will get your life back. And then when that music comes, your energy will be real. Your connection will be real, and it won't be broken. So you will be able to deal with all the stress in your life. You'll be able to deal with the frustration because your dopamine, your serotonin will be linked. It can't be broken because it's natural. It will always be there. Every now and then when you get stressed and your estrogen and your testosterone is challenged, yeah, it might get kind of flimsy. But at least your brain and your neurons, your electrons, your neutrons, and your energy to your nerves and your body is connected naturally. That's what's going to give you the strength. That's what's going to get you when the music start playing. Everybody else is drinking. Once 9:30 come around, you like, yeah, okay, oh, they be like, you need something to drink? No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Man, you want something to smoke? No, man, I don't need that. I don't need that stuff, man. You like, oh, yeah. And they back there coughing and everything. They're sitting out talking about, oh man, I'm tired. And you still up there. Yeah. They be like, oh, what's going on with her? What's going on with him? Because you got that juice. You got that real juice. You got nature. And let me tell you, my American family, let me tell you this. This is what I want for you. I want you to get that juice. That's the only way to bring you up. That's going to be your empowerment for the next decades and generations. That's going to be the icon for these children. When you go out there and party, you let them know, I don't need, what kind of party is this? We don't need drinks. What do we need drinks for? No, we don't want that nasty stuff, that old alcohol, distilled grapes. So I don't put that fermented junk in my body for. I got it already right here. But man, you ain't smoking, man. What are you talking? Why? Why I need that stuff for? It's already in your body. Listen. Once you put that venom inside and you destroy that link between you and your nature, trust me, family, it's hard to put that back together. Rehab is for that. That's how people out here in the streets doing crazy stuff. That's why you see these outlandish, mindless behaviors happening on the news, because these people, they've been using artificial substance for so long, and now that it's taken away from them, when this happens, it's time to get out of there. Okay, and zombies is real. If you want to really compare that, zombies is zombies like people that need to eat in order to survive. They need to suck on that energy. They need to take somebody out of it because it's disconnected. So when you focus on your natural self, when you should focus on your own energy and leave that stuff and realize when somebody's taking another substance, if they need that unhealthy, not homebred stuff that you have within yourself, okay, they are actually trying to supply what they don't have. And 9 times out of 10, that means they're missing their selves. They're missing their soul connection. They're missing the power that they should have within their creator and themselves. And bringing that together is a hard not to do. Okay, let this be a lesson to you. And now you can be a little bit more aware when you see people, throwing it back, and they got to do that just to function every day or whatever that they do, whatever pills. Okay, they are missing something. You don't be that person, because if you go down that path, trust me when I tell you, there's nothing but a pit of darkness. This is Leon C. Like, share. You have my email, and get that book.